Welcome to We the Trippers. Today, we are taking you on a breathtaking journey through Armenia, Sevanavank, Symphony of Stones, and an unforgettable evening at Republic Square in Yerevan.
Trust me, the places we visited were absolutely breathtaking, especially the views from the top of Sevanavank. And you won't believe what happened on the cable car ride. It's hilarious.
Hey there, this is We the Trippers. I am Vivek.
And this is Shamakshi. We took a taxi for a half-day trip to Lake Sevan and some other places around Yerevan. The driver kept reminding us of a public protest that could possibly cause a traffic jam within Yerevan. So we had an early start, right?
Yeah, these public protests never left us during that trip. Tbilisi protests were also very interesting.
Yeah, that is covered in our last part of Georgia. Do check that out.
And by the way, to reach the Sevanavank Monastery, we had to climb some steps. But it was definitely rewarding once we reached to the top because you get to see this amazing Lake Sevan.
Lake Sevan is the largest freshwater lake in Armenia, and what a beautiful sight. The monastery is on top of a hill, and after climbing a few steps, you can enjoy a very calm and peaceful atmosphere.
That's correct. In fact, I remember when we reached there, we weren't exactly tired, but we just sat on a bench to soak in the silence. It wasn't crowded at all, and the view of Lake Sevan was simply breathtaking.
Yeah, right. Armenian monasteries are quite similar to Georgian ones, but there are a few noticeable differences. For example, the conical domes have different colored stones, and the monasteries also feature sculpted stone crosses called Tsaghkadzors.
Tsaghkadzors, that's right. In fact, when I first saw them, I thought that they were actually gravestones, but they are stone crosses. Very old, isn't it?
Yeah, some of them date back to 13th century. And if you take a step inside the monastery, it's quite peaceful, very similar to the ones in Georgia.
What I really liked was the weather that day. Although it was cloudy, but thankfully it didn't rain and gave us an opportunity to take some nice drone shots and stroll around the monastery.
Yeah, right.
After taking in the peaceful vibes at Sevanavank, it was time for our next stop. But we couldn't resist pulling over those incredible countryside views, right?
Yeah, actually, any average countryside view in Armenia is just beautiful. You'll see quite some variety in the landscapes.
Absolutely. And by the way, what was in those bottles?
That is sea buckthorn syrup. But our driver advised us not to try it, but rather go with the packaged ones. So we just followed his advice, right?
Yeah, better to listen to the locals in such matters. Also, you can never trust a Coca-Cola bottle with a Fanta-like drink inside it. Anyways, our next stop was a place that I can never pronounce correctly. It starts with a T, ends with an R, and couple of Z's in between.
Tsaghkadzor? Anyways, we took a cable car ride to the top, but getting on the cable car was hilarious. Did you mention
that? Yeah, that was something scary and funny at the same time. We were totally unprepared. The cable car actually didn't stop, and we were literally pushed onto the moving chair. We almost lost our shoes that day.
Yeah, but once we got on, it was fine. Though don't expect any modern safety standards here, but the views are so worth it that your heartbeat calms down quickly.
Yeah, and while you question the safety, it seems to be quite safe to me at least. Ski enthusiasts from around the world would come here, and the cable car system is pretty extensive. All you need is to ensure that you do not wear your shoes very loose.
Yeah, plus the height wasn't too bad. Even if you fall, you'll probably just sprain an ankle.
Yeah, let's not talk about falls here, okay? Anyways, it was a fun experience. After that, our final stop for the day was the Symphony of Stones. Want to talk about that?
Sure. These are naturally formed basalt columns created by volcanic lava. They're incredibly geometric and beautiful.
I still feel that they are 100% carved by humans. How on earth can nature form such precise structures? I mean,
Yeah, that's the beauty of nature. They're definitely not man made. You can see some similar formations in Iceland too.
okay, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, when I saw these stones for the first time, I couldn't stop staring at them. We took some drone shots, but yeah, all of them with a very terrible angle, and I regret about it even to this day.
But not everything can be captured with a camera. This place was so serene with a stream running nearby and very few tourists around.
Exactly, it was surprising to see so few people there. It's such a stunning place.
Yeah, most tourists seem to visit nearby Garni temple instead, but they miss out on this gem.
Definitely, we decided to skip Garni temple, and our driver was clearly disappointed. But we had seen the pictures of it on the internet and felt Symphony of Stones was a better option.
Absolutely. For anyone visiting Armenia, Symphony of Stones is a must-see.
And after that, we wrapped up our day tour and headed back to Yerevan.
We reached Yerevan around sunset and spent the evening at the Republic Square. This is one place in Yerevan that definitely beats Tbilisi.
Completely agree. In fact, Tbilisi does have a Liberty Square as well, but it's nothing compared to Republic Square in Yerevan. The old government buildings and the commercial buildings around the square are made with the same type of stone, making it look very beautiful and symmetric, especially at night.
For dinner, we went to a restaurant called Tavern. It's a very touristy place with live traditional Armenian music and dance.
Yeah, the food was very good actually.
Yeah, especially I love the stuffed eggplant rolls.
Eggplant rolls, yes. So after dinner, we saw the musical fountain performance at the Republic Square. The square was still crowded with both tourists and locals enjoying the evening. A very beautiful sight.
Yeah, it was a day well spent around Yerevan. Not too tiring and gives you enough time to rest for the next day, which is going to be very packed, right?
Correct. On that, where are we going next?
The next day is a long day. We'll be doing a day-long trip across Armenia, crossing some interesting international borders, and taking the longest cable car ride in the world. But that's parked for the final part of our Armenia travel series.
Yeah, indeed. So please subscribe and watch out for the final part of Armenia, and do not forget to like this video. Thanks for watching and keep traveling.
See you soon.